Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What I'm working on today is a patio koi pond build. So follow me along as I take you through this. Hey guys, just so that you know, there's no blueprint for this build. It's going off the top of the head and just measuring as we're going. So follow along. So what you saw right there was the drill bit just snapping in half while pre-drilling the screw holes. So in this part of the build, I'll be constructing the four walls. Each long wall will be 8 feet using two full-length stud and 9 vertical stud, which will be cut to 31 inches. I made a mistake while I was cutting my stud, so I have to make adjustment. The numbers I'm giving you now is the correct measurement. Like I said, there was no blueprint for this build. It's just up off the top of my head and I'm adjusting as I'm going. What we've done is we've assembled the walls, the long walls going straight down. We pre-drilled the hole so we can fit the screws in. We used a 3-inch exterior screw and 2 screw per stud on each stud going down. Once that's done, we'll move on to build the side wall, which will consist of 5 stud. The side wall total length will be 48 inches for the total length, all evenly spaced and pre-drilled wood and screwed in. Now, on all 4 walls, do not attach the second to last stud on each side. You will see the reason why towards the end of the video. So on all 4 walls, do not attach the second to last stud. Now you'll see me using different types of wood, and that's because when I went to purchase my wood, the wood price went up 60%. A 2x4 piece of wood I used to pay less than $3, and it was approximately $5.50 for this 2x4. So since I had some left over from other projects, I decided to use what I had and buy what I needed, because it's a patio pond anyway and it'll be under my patio out from the weather, and I'm figuring I can probably put some paint or some coating on it to prolong the life expectancy. So that's the reason for using different wood. By the way, the reason why the wood price went up was due to the pandemic. Factories had shut down and lost profit, and to recoup from this profit, they decided to increase the price for wood. That's what my research told me when I researched it on Google, why the wood price increased, and because of loss of profit, it was going to be passed on to the consumers. So I figured, you know what, let me just use what I have and not waste any wood at this point. Now, if you're not used to building things by eyeball and hand and off the top of your head, I suggest you write everything down, have a level, and make sure your wood are level and straight. That way you don't have any crooked section. We had marked the top and bottom rail of the frame, where each stud had to be placed, so that way we don't have to use a level on every single piece. It speeded up the process, so I would recommend you doing that. Now once you get done building your side frame, you need to get your 4x4 and measure it out to length. You would need 4 pieces that measure 33.5 inches. So 4 pieces measure 33.5 inches cut to length, and that should give you what you need for your connection point. Now keep in mind, if the wood is pressure treated, you'll get different size. So the different size might throw you off in measurement, so be aware of that. Also, the 2x4s, different manufacturer cutting 2x4s will give you a millimeter off on the 2x4, so you always want to measure twice, cut once, otherwise you'll be wasting wood. So keep that in mind with your material. Now after you get your 4x4 legs cut to size, you want to just take it over to your frame, one of your long frame and short frame, and get one of or two of your 3-inch screw and just line it up and drill in the 4x4 post to one corner. Everything should line up without a level when you're working on this, because you just follow the edge and go straight down. And if your eyeball is good, you can see if it's off. So I've screwed the the frame to the 4x4 with 3-inch screws on all 4 frame. This is just to hold the square in place. So it was just my luck that when I went to the big box store to pick up my plywood, their cutting saw was broken. So I had to bring the entire sheet home and cut it myself. So the cut length for this sheet of plywood would be 32 and a half for the width of this plywood, and this is a 1/2 inch plywood. So I run 1x2 straight down. I screwed it down, and I run my circular saw straight to the end to get my cut. I placed that aside, and then I went ahead and pre-drilled 3 holes on each end of the stud. Now if you recall, I mentioned in earlier part of the video not to install the second to last stud on each frame. Do not install the second to last stud, and the reason behind this is because you're not able to get your drill in there to drill the screw to attach it. And these lag bolts that I put in, these lag bolts are 3-inch lag bolts with washers, and those holding screw are 3-inch exterior screw. So once I got that screwed in, I will go ahead and put in my end pieces that I should have left out, but I had to remove because of that error. So I'm gonna go back in and put these end pieces in. Now as you're looking at this entire frame, you should see which stud needs to be left out of place during this build. Those will be the last stud to go in once you assemble this rectangle pond. So just keep that in mind, and you can see everything is pretty much leveled and marked off. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this on the side since I'm working alone by myself right now. Flip this aside and install the missing stud on the ends of the frame. So I want to thank my brother Ravi for coming out and giving me a hand with this build. and the Chinaman Cheng for coming out, making fun of me while I'm building without plans and screwing up, having a few beers and just getting this thing built out. So thank you guys, it was a great help. So after I get these final studs screwed in, I'm leaving this project off here as part 1. I'm gonna continue with part 2 where I install the base stud because I need some tie brackets and get the plywood in and frame the wall. Once I get that done, then I'll move on. So subscribe to this channel to see future progress of this koi pond, and like and share this video. Go ahead and smash that like button.